Welcome back. Today we are again playing some Clash of Steel. We're going to have 100 points of Americans going up against 100 points of Soviets. Our scenario today is going to be the central attack. We're going to have two objectives, and we're going to be using mission rules number 2, which is 7 game rounds and uses immediate reserves. Here's a look at our table. The Soviets are going to be over here, starting on the right-hand side, and the Americans are going to be coming in over here on the left-hand side. So there we go. We'll move over to first the Americans, and then we'll see what the Soviets are bringing. All right, here's a look at our American force. For our HQ, we're going to have a T-29. We're going to have another squad of T-29s. We are going to have a squad of EZ-8s, 4 EZ-8s, another squad of 4 EZ-8s, a squad of 3 jumbos, and a squad of 4 M36. In reserve, we're going to have a second squad of T-29s, a squad of assault Pershings, and a squad of Hellcats. So that is 100 points on the nose, so no command abilities for the Americans this time around. Here's a look at our first 3 tactics cards, because we went ahead and drew them before the game started. So that is our Americans. We will go over to the Soviets.
Heading the Soviet spearhead will be an IS-3 command general, 2 units of 6 1 T-54s, 2 units of 4 T-34s, and in reserves got 5 IS-3s, 5 Su-100s, and 5 ISU-130s.
Nice. Okay.
For command abilities, we got Route March. All my tanks are increase their dash speeds by 4. And Gunnery Master, my commander may reroll failed to hit rolls while shooting at targets greater than 60 inches away.
Okay. So there we go. That's the Soviets. We will bring you guys back after deployment. Here we are all deployed for the central attack. We've got the Americans on this side, and we've got the Soviets over here. We'll run down real quick what's starting on the board. We've got the T-54s, correct? These guys?
34s. 54s.
Yeah, T-54s, T-34s up here, IS-3 Commander, more T-54s and T-34s there. These are the Soviet reserves over here. And then for the Americans, we've got EZ-8s, T-29s, M36s, the Commander, another squad of EZ-8s, and another squad of Jumbos. M36s are hiding in the field. Hopefully that'll keep them alive for a little bit. And then here's the American reserves. All right, so we, let's roll to see who goes first. We haven't done that yet. 1 for the Americans. Oh, 3 for the Soviets. Looks like the Soviets are going first. All right, we will bring you guys back after Soviet turn 1. All right, that was a quick turn for the Soviets. They moved across over here. These T-34s dashed up to here, so no scoring points on that objective yet. Over here, they did the same. The commander is hanging out with those T-54s. That unit of T-34s dashed up to that objective, so no scoring on that one for them. But they're in a good position for next turn. So that is it for the Soviet turn. Not really any shooting because everything is out of range. We'll see what the Americans can do to answer this because the Soviets are now sitting tight on top of the objectives. All right, so over to American turn 1. All right, here we are at the end of American turn 1, and the Americans came out swinging. The Easy 8s moved up and took out 2 of these T-34s. Then the T-29s finished off the last 2. That scored us 3 points for that. This is a fuel dump, so whoever controls that at the end of the game is getting 3 extra points. Over there, the Jumbos destroyed one of those T-34s. That's them creeping around the woods over there. The other squad of Easy 8s went through the woods. There's always that one guy that fails his cross test. The Easy 8s destroyed one of those T-34s, and the commander in the T-29, I believe he whiffed, and then the Jacksons destroyed another one and bailed one out, but he did remount at the end of the turn. So the Soviets scored 3 points for controlling that objective. So at the end of turn 1, we are sitting tied 3-3. We are getting ready, and we are going to roll over to Soviet turn 2. One thing also to point out, no one got any reserves. We have immediate reserves this game, but nobody got any on turn 1. So we'll see if any come in on turn 2. All right, no reserves for Soviet turn 2, but the Soviets did capture this objective, so they got 3 points for that, and they are still holding that one, so they got 3 points for that, and that objective has the priority marker, so after turn 6, we can only score points for that objective, but we'll see. Maybe somebody will swap that one before we get to turn 6. Not much action on the shooting part. The Soviets... they're slow to fire, was holding them up most of the game, but the T-54s did fire off at the Easy 8s in the woods there. They destroyed one, and they did bail out another one, and he did fail his remount test, even with protected ammo. So that is where we sit at the end of Soviet turn 2. We will see what the Americans can respond with. End of turn 2, and it's looking pretty good for the Americans. These Easy 8s moved up, and they used a tactics card, the Big Game Hunter, to give them +2 to their anti-tank, and they managed to destroy 4 of these T-54s, and then our T-29s parked over yonder. They finished off the last 2, so we scored 3 points for that one, and we captured this objective. Over here, the M36s managed to bail out one of the T-54s on that side. The Jumbos finished off the last T-34 over there and captured that objective. Our Easy 8s in the woods, that one guy still failed his remount test, and our commander failed to hit anything. But because of the 2 units destroyed and capturing 2 objectives, the Americans are now up 15 to the Soviets 9. We didn't get any reserves this turn, so going into turn 3, the Soviets should have at least 1 unit coming in reserves. All right, so that's it for turn 2. We are moving on to Soviet turn 3. Okay, Soviet turn 3 saw some reserves come in. The IS-130s came in over here, and they took out one of the Easy 8s. Over here, the Soviets managed to bail out one of the Jumbos over there, holding that objective. That was pretty much it as far as shooting goes. The Americans scored 4 points for that contested objective, and holding this objective. The Soviets just scored 1 for contesting the objective over there. They did change the mission card on that one, or objective card on that one, to fog. So now there's a penalty for anybody shooting within so many inches of that. So right now the Americans are still in the lead, 19 points to 10. So we'll see if we can finally get some reserves in on turn 3. End of American turn 3, and this is how we sit. The Easy 8s over here managed to destroy one of the IS 130s that came in over here. Over here in the middle, our other squad of Easy 8s is moving up to back up the Jumbos. Unfortunately, there's still that one guy that can't pass a 2-up terrain check, so he's still straggling behind. The what is it? Oh, our commander managed to destroy one of those IS one I'm sorry, those T-54s over there. Technical difficulties over there. Over here for reserves, we got one unit of assault Pershings in, and our other unit of T-29s came in. They both terrain or cross country dashed, so no shooting for them. The Americans hold this objective and contest that one, so that was another 4 points, and we are up to 23 points. The Russians got 1 for contesting, so they are up to 11. So the Americans are still in the lead as we go into Soviet turn 4. End of Soviet turn 4. This is how things sit. The IS 100s came in. The unit of IS 3s came in over there. The unit of IS 3s, they did a cross country dash, so no shooting for them. Over here, the IS 130s, they took out 2 of these Easy 8s. This guy passed his last stand test, so he's probably not long for this world. Over here, the Soviets tried to pour a lot into the Jumbos, but they just bounced the shots off. So we got lucky with their shooting rolls. And right now we sit, the Americans are up 27-12 for the Soviets. But the Soviets have some bigger guns and heavier armor now. So we'll see how things go on American turn 4. All right, this is a fast-moving game at the end of American turn 4. So our assault Pershings dashed up. They couldn't shoot this turn. This lone Easy 8 tried to fire off at the 130s and just bounced some shells. The T-29s over there moved up, but they did manage to take out one of the IS 100s over there. The M36s dashed out to there, so hopefully they can start getting some shots next turn, so no shooting for them. The Easy 8s and the Shermans there, or Easy 8s and the Jumbos, tried to bail out some of these guys, but all the shells just bounced. Our commander over there did destroy another one of these T-54s, and our Hellcats finally arrived, and they are hiding in the woods. So that's where we sit, but the Americans are still up. We scored another 4 points, 37 to the Soviets, 13. So still looking pretty good as we head into turn 5. So we'll see how the Soviets return fire now that they have all their big guns in place. At the end of Soviet turn 5, the IS-130s and the 100s are moving up. The 130s tried to take a shot at the assault Pershings, but missed. Over here, the 100s tried to take out this lone Easy 8, and they missed, but they're getting closer. The IS-3s over there took out 2 of our M36 Jacksons, and the T-54s over there couldn't do anything against the Jumbos, who are still holding on to that objective. So the Americans are still holding on to the lead at 35-14 as we go into American turn 5. Okay, at the end of American turn 5, The Pershings moved up and bailed out one 130 and destroyed another. We still have this lone guy who's sitting here. He failed to do anything against the 100s, as did the T-29s. The Jacksons just moved up, trying to get out of the guns of the IS-3s. Over here, the Jumbo swung around the side of that building and fired into the side of the T-54s, destroying one and bailing out two others. They did fail their remount tests. Then the Easy-8s moved up to keep control of that objective. Everybody else just kind of failed to hit anything. And then the Hellcats in there can't really do anything to the front armor of those T-54s, so they're just sitting there. But the Americans are up 39 to 15 for the Soviets, and we're at the end of turn 5. So we're going to go ahead and call it there in favor of the Americans. Anything you want to say about this scenario?
I don't think this is a particularly good scenario for the Soviets, since with the way that it's set up, it's just more range, and quite a few Soviet things are slow to fire.
Yeah, the slow to fire, and some of your guns don't really have a long range, so it's taking you 2 turns to get even into position before you can fire. So yeah, this one kind of hurts the Soviets a bit. So it's nice to see that the Soviet hordes aren't all powerful. There are some scenarios and some rules that do slow them down a bit. So that's good to see. Any units perform good, bad, or otherwise?
I think everybody did what they were supposed to. Kind of wish the 100s would have done a bit more, but they had to be put in reserves.
Yeah, maybe next time if we get stuck with reserves, maybe start with them on the table, because that anti-tank 15 would have helped you a lot, but they would have needed to be in range too. So. Okay. As for me, the Pershings or the assault Pershings are new for us. They didn't really get to do a whole lot because they came in reserve, and with their 8-inch move, I didn't realize that when I put them in reserve. Otherwise, I would have maybe had them start on the table. But lessons to learn for next time, right? All right. So there we are. We have an American victory over the Soviets for once. We'll be back next time, probably playing 40K. We thought we were going to play 40K this time, but it was just a better weekend for some Clash of Steel. All right, thanks for watching.
We're not just going to shoot the bastards. We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder those lousy Hun bastards by the bushel.